G'day, how you going? It's Craig here. Thought I'd give a little update of the farm and show you how green everything is. A few weeks ago, this was all bare through here, brown. Brown is my driveway. And look at all the grass growing in there now, isn't it a beautiful sight? Anyway, a bit of an update here, show you some of the trees and how they're going. This is our mulberry. Jono, my son, and me, we cut a bit of wattle and chopped and dropped it around the tree here yesterday for a bit of mulch. And yeah, there's a honey locust that we got growing. Neighbour gave us that in here. I think there was a tree loosened and it's died, I think, but we're just leaving it to grow. There's our second honey locust. These trees provide a lot of nitrogen. They can be used for a couple of things. As they grow bigger, you can continually cut them, the leaves down, and they make an excellent mulch around your trees. They produce nitrogen in the soil, and also they produce cattle fodder. They drop pods, and a hectare of them will produce about 50 tonnes of extra food, and grass and that grows right up to it. Anyway, I thought something scared me then, I jumped. That's a Kurrajong tree that we've planted. What's going on there? Anyway, it's a she oak in here. She oaks are really good. They produce nitrogen in the soil and phosphate. Phosphate's an organism, chemical organism that everything needs to grow. There's another she oak in here. What have I got through here? Another Kurrajong. Now the leaves on this little fella have died at the top, but if we look right down the bottom we can see a couple of little leaves coming up from the top. Over here's one of my tree loosened. Now we had trouble with hares and then locusts who stripped these trees right back over beginning of summer. They were bare, and then of course the heat wave we had and no rain over summer, but they're just starting to come back now, starting to come good. There's another she oak there. Here's a Kurrajong tree that we planted. We bought these from as tube stock, and they're a slow grower, but it's going to be a great grow through here eventually. Another tree lucerne. Tree lucerne makes nutritious stock for food for stock, as well as producing nitrogen, and also great for cutting down for mulch and adding fertiliser into the soil. This little fella's going great guns. Now just remember, for all over Christmas these were dead bare stalks and we really thought we'd lost them all. So thank you Lord for the rain that's come. This Kurrajong tree here was another little one we bought as tube stock and he's coming great guns. This is a mulberry we planted not long ago. We have to mulch it. We're gradually coming up the drive here to get through all the trees, and just look at how green it is around there. Isn't that great? And we're hoping there's a bit of rain going to come. It's a bit humid now, so another 10 mil of rain would be fantastic. Another tree lucerne growing along in here. This is exactly how those other tree lucens were. We think this one here, if you just have a little look, there's a little bud coming through. We think he's going to survive, so we're not 100% sure, but we'll leave him. Sadly, this fella right here, we think he's died, but we'll leave him for a bit and just see. Another Kurrajong tree here. What have I got over here? This one here did die. There's nothing in that hole. He died. It's dead. So here's a Kurrajong tree we planted just before Christmas. The locust got to him. He's a bare stalk, just that little stick poking out of the ground. But I'm going to leave him because I'll show you another tree that's bounced back. Here's a she oak. Again, the locust stripped him bare. He was a stalk, and then after a bit of rain again, he's bounced back, so he's surviving. Look at this pear tree here, isn't it a beauty? Reckon we might get a few pears of him next year. It was bare root winter stock that we bought, planted in winter, this fella here, and some marigolds that we got planted around him. This is a Kurrajong tree I want to show you. This little fella, the locusts and the hares ate him down to nothing. He was a stick. And then when we got the rain, about 4 weeks ago, he just went gangbusters and burst into branch and leaf like the way he has. So I'm not too concerned about that other one. Oh, what have we got here? This is one of my rows of trees that we've got. I mowed this strip. I mowed 3 or 4 of these strips last year, and then drought hit, and it was just a bare patch. This is a goji berry. A truck come that delivered our shipping container, ran straight over the top of him. Then we got hit by the heat wave and drought, and but after a bit of rain, he's just sprouted right up. He's going gangbusters. Can't wait until he produces berries, maybe next year. Sadly, these 3 trees along here, they died, and we will replant them out. Up along here, we've planted 3 tube stock of ironbark trees. There he is there, and right up the end up there, there's another 2 up there, and right up the end I've planted another Kurrajong tree that we can't see. The other day on Facebook I mentioned that my son and I discovered a few Kurrajong trees growing along the fence line. We decided to dig them up and replant them here. Eventually that fence needs replacing, and if we leave them there, we're going to have to cut them down to do the fence. But anyway, look at this little fella here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that row. I don't know if you can see it here. I'll just expand it a bit. There's a few steel posts down there marking the other trees at the end. Yeah, going great guns. So while my son's up here, next time it rains, we're going to dig this swale out. A lot easier to dig while it's wet, obviously. I've got a little trench over here that we need to dig much deeper to make it equal to what's going on up here. Anyway, this swale is a trench that basically goes around contour and follows that line, that little line that I've done. And the object is for the water to sit in this swale and then soak into the subsoil slowly. Here you can see where the water's retained a bit. These branches we threw down about 2 years ago, and they're slowly mulching down, creating carbon in the soil, and just creating a bit of greenery. It'll take a while. It's quite a while for stuff like this to break down, but eventually it'll just help fertilise and make this land here a lot better than what it is. What have we got over here? Here's another Kurrajong, not a Kurrajong, it's a sheake. He got stripped bare by the locust, but he's just starting to come good again. There's a couple of new shoots, and we've left him. This sheake here, we don't think he's going to come good, but we're going to leave him just in case. And here's my second goji berry. He died off over summer, and he's starting to come good. Not going as great as the other one down there that the truck ran over. These 3 tree lucerne here, we planted these October 2 years ago, and yeah, or 18 months ago, and they were going good, but then they got stripped by hares, and then the locusts stripped them bare. These have been just sticks. Got a few marigolds growing around. I grew marigolds here which seeded last year, and we've watered and watered, nothing's happened, and then a bit of rain and they've all sprung up. This one here, the top of him here had, he remained with a bit of greenery on him, but all down the bottom here was just bare sticks, and he's starting to bounce back a bit now, which is really good. And same with this fella here. Anyway, these were little tube stock when we bought them, and they're going gangbusters really. Look at this tomato over here. He's just sprung up on his own. It's just going to contribute. Looks a bit messy here, but that's okay. The weeds and the grass are going to provide a bit of ground cover for the ground through here. We'll just cut it down as it gets a bit messy with the whippersnipper, and I'll just continue creating mulch and stuff into here. My lemon tree here, it was a bare stick all over summertime. Again got attacked by the locusts, and now he's going gangbusters after a bit of rain, which is, you can water and water and water, and we were using tank water from the town and nothing was happening. Our loquat tree is coming good. Look at our olive tree here. We've got 2 olives, one over there. The locust stripped him down bare, absolutely bare, every leaf taken out. And now he's a bit of rain and everything else, and he's starting to survive. It's just absolutely amazing what happens when you get a bit of rain. This little, I'm not sure it's a tangelo tree or what he is, but he's just started to come good too. So he was a bare stick like that. This fella's a Persian silk tree, Albizia. Now these Albizzias, they produce nitrogen, and eventually as he grows bigger we intend to just cut him down and mulch him down on the ground, and he'll add nitrogen fertiliser and nitrogen mulch into the ground, and as it breaks down it'll make this horrible ground here more fertile. Look at our little lemon tree here, tangelo tree I think that one is, and we've put a bit of wattle there. I did uproot a wattle tree to try and grow there, but I left it too long and he hasn't taken, but that's okay. Remember those little Kurrajong trees I showed you that I planted? We planted 4 Cootamundra wattle about 12 months ago, and they're that size as those little tube stock, and look how he's going gangbusters. I'm pretty convinced he's got rhizobium growing on his roots. Rhizobium converts the nitrogen that's in the air from the soil into growth, and in time he's just going to add more nitrogen into the soil and mulch. And our peppercorn tree here, he's going gangbusters, and by the time he actually grows into a large tree, these Cootamundra wattle will be ready to chop down and just mulch down. Their lifetime isn't that great, but for now they're going to, the way they're growing, the object is they'll be quick shade trees for us. Hopefully in another year or 2 they'll be 10 foot high and providing a lot of shade in this area, which will be quite needed. We did lose our cherry tree. I'm leaving him here in case something comes up, but I'm pretty confident that we've totally lost him. This garden here we planted last year, newspaper on the ground, and then full of horse manure, and then mulch on the top, and there's a few potatoes that are growing up. We've got some sweet potato growing up under the edge of a log here. That's a bit of Araminth coming up. Our tree lucerne here was a stick all through summer, just a bare stick, and now he's started to come up with a bit of rain, and what a beautiful sight that is. This fella here, we watered and he did nothing. He's a red basil. I've forgotten the name of this fella. We've got it written down inside. It makes like a lemon scent. It's a beautiful scent to put in a vase and bring inside. It's just a refreshing air freshener. It's also a condiment for your herbs and spices. I just can't remember what its name is. Anyway, that red basil has sprouted off all through here, and we've got a whole heap of little red basil that's just come up, especially since it's rained. Got a rosemary here. He's struggling in that spot. We're going to leave him, persevere, and hopefully something will take place over the years. This is a lime tree. Again, it was bare over summer, but it's coming good. The west sun is over there. Here's another Albizia, Persian silk tree, and it was a little tube stock. It's about probably in 12 months grown 3 or 4 times its size. By next year we're hoping it's going to provide enough shade to protect that lime tree there, and from that hot westerly sun, and it'll do a lot better come summertime. This is our little miracle. The jacaranda we thought we'd lost. Got the swale filled twice in February, soaked all the soil underneath, and it sprang up and doing great guns. It's just amazing how we thought we'd lost it. Anyway, I've been piling logs and compost and just garbage, bones and roadkill along here to put a bit of carbon and whatever against the bank. Eventually we'll get some soil and manure and totally cover over it, but for now this is what we're doing. It's slowly breaking down. It's going to increase the fertility there. Now it doesn't look much here, but we've consistently said it's going to be about 5 years before anything happens. It's been 2 years so far. Things are happening, and yeah, we're quite excited about how things are changing, and especially now we've had rain. Both our dams are chock-a-block full, which means I can pump some water up, and come next summer, if we don't get regular rain, or if we don't get any rain out here, I can pump water up and fill the swale up, and and water this garden without having to buy tank water to do so. Anyway, cheers, speak to you soon.